Okay, parents, we're going to go ahead and get started. We may have some more parents joining us in a bit, but we will go ahead and start since it's 4 o'clock. First of all, thank you for joining us. We know this is a different way to have an open house where parents can talk to us and ask questions, but that's just where we are right now. So we do appreciate you joining us. And really what we want this to be is helpful for you. We know that you guys have questions, so we want to be able to talk to you, let you ask questions, and we'll just share a little bit of information, and then we'll just open it up and let you guys ask the questions that you have. First of all, my name is Miss Dietrich, and I am taking Miss Lewis's place right now while she is out on maternity leave. I am Miss Loftus.
Mrs. Duncan.
Miss Corson.
And we're glad that you guys are here. So the first thing that we'll say is it's been a big learning experience for us, but the kids are doing great. We've kind of gotten in our routine doing the face-to-face instruction and the live instruction at the same time. So before it's all over, we'll be pros at this. Some days technology still, we still have issues with technology, but overall it's gone really well.
Yeah, the kids, I can say that the kids are very conscientious about keeping their masks up and covering their nose and their mouth. And the biggest challenge probably is keeping them 6 feet apart when they're playing at recess. But other than that, they're doing great with keeping their mask up, and they take it very seriously. So,
yeah. So next week, is it next week, the 30th? Is that right when we send report cards home?
The following week.
The following week, you'll be getting some progress reports sent home. And with those, it's right now we're still using some progress reports that are similar to what we sent home at the end of the year last year. So a lot of the questions are more, just how the kids are adjusting, and are they meeting grade level standards, or do they need extra support to meet those standards? So that will be coming home. And then also attached to that will be your child's M-class assessment. So that is the reading assessment that we will do this year at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. If you have older students, then you might remember this. This is assessment that we used 2 years ago. Last year when they were in kindergarten, we used an assessment called iStation. We're no longer using that one, but the M-class will show you where the child is according to where the state expects them to be. I will say this, I think it's because we missed so much school in the spring, and we always see a summer slide between kindergarten and first grade. But because the kids also missed some instruction there at the end of the year, we have seen a pretty significant drop from where the kids need to be to where they actually are. And that's expected. We kind of thought that may happen. That's one of the reasons some things were put into place even before school started. Mostly, I think the biggest thing is that we have a really small class size. And the reason is that's because we knew these students would need some extra attention and support from the teacher. So that we're aware of that. We knew that coming in, and we're working really hard to get our reading groups going, to get these kids reading in books. I think most of us have started baggy books. So I think for the most part, there's 3 things that we need parents to do at home with the kids. And now these are for our kids that are virtual and face-to-face. All students in first grade need to be reading every night in their baggy book. They also need to be studying those spelling words. And the third thing is learning those sight words. So if you haven't received a sight word list, you will be getting one, and just working with your child on those sight words.
And I will add, so the students who are coming every day actually have books that they're taking home. But if your child is remote, they can use Literacy Footprints and Raz Kids to read every night. So I would take advantage of those 2 resources because they are excellent.
Yes. And I would say out of the two, the literacy footprints and the RAS, the literacy footprints is exactly what we are using in here for our reading groups. We have not had that resource before digitally, but that's something new. So the kids that are in our class that are going over to the table to read with us, we're doing literacy footprints books.
And even if your child is a face-to-face child and you want RAS kids at home, or our remote kids are used to using it by this time of the year. But if your face-to-face child wants to do RAS kids, make sure that you have the login and everything. We do it daily in class, but we can send that home if you don't have it to do at home.
Anything else? And I would just pull in with the spelling. One of the things that we're really trying to get the kids to learn is not that it's not about memorization, except for the tricky words. The other words, the sentences that we have and the spelling words that we have and the review words is all sounds that we're learning in class. So the last thing we want is for kids to feel like they have to memorize 14 words. It's not about memorizing. It's about really listening to the sounds and learning the rules for those sounds. And we spend a lot of time on it in class. We all do it in part of our live lessons, but really getting those kids to listen for the sounds and remembering the rules that we're learning.
And even during the spelling test, I know I give them each sound. So, I know if they know the sounds, and they should be able to spell the word. Unless, of course, like Ms. Dietrich said, it's a tricky word. So,
Some parents have asked me, how can I study these spelling words? And I sent home a few different activities. Like on Monday, you can just have your child read the word out loud and spell it out loud. Or on Tuesday, they can write it with crayons. And we have all different activities in our class that we can send home if you guys are interested in more ways to practice the spelling words.
Anything else that you thought we need to tell them? Anything else? Was there anything else on that slide?
Just homework.
Okay. One of the things that we're going to be doing after the meeting today is we're going to be sharing out a link. It's a video. It's probably about 11 or 12 minutes, but it has all the standards on it that were covered for the first 9 weeks. So we're halfway through that 9 weeks, but the video will just show you what we're doing right now and where we're headed for the next 4.5 weeks, so that you'll know when report card comes, what are the expectations? What should my child be doing by the end of this report card? Okay, so that's really all we had to say to you guys. Now we want you to, if you want to unmute yourself and ask questions. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, there was a book sent home, a chapter book sent home at the beginning of school. How are they supposed to?
Yeah, we see that somebody's talking, but we can't hear. Let me turn my volume up. Melissa, I think it's you trying to ask a question, but we can't hear you.
Okay, I have my volume up. I'm not sure why. Can you hear me now?
Can you type it in the chat? Is there a chat?
Yeah. Do you want to try to type it in the chat? Because we're not getting any sound from you.
Is there a chat on Google Meet?
Yeah. Right here.
Oh.
You can put it in the chat also.
Do you want me to send a message? And that way she can respond to that.
I'm not sure why. Is it right here? My microphone is on and the volume is all the way up.
And then it shows that. Okay.
Right here. Are they supposed to be reading the chapter book that was sent home? Oh, that's a good question. So our school is participating in a program. Is it One Book, One School?
yes.
One Book, One School. And so the whole school has got the same book. And we know that lots of it is over our first graders' heads. We're all trying to read it with them also in class. So yes, that's something that we want you guys to read to them because we know that most first graders are not able to read that book yet. But just read it and have conversation with it. You don't have to do all the things. Are y'all having your kids do all the things on the calendar that go with it?
I told parents it was optional.
Optional. Mostly just reading. That's what we want. Is we're wanting kids and families to read together.
Yeah. Family involvement.
Okay. Any more questions? You're welcome, Melissa.
Hey, I have a question. I'm Jason Butler. And with the remote learning days that are scheduled on the calendar, is that something that we have to log in to do? Can you hear me?
Give me just a second, guys. We're trying to figure out why we can't hear you.
Okay, she said she could hear. Caleb.
She can hear.
She can hear, but we can't.
Something on our end.
Yeah, there's something wrong on our end.
If you
I
wanna
tell you what.
type your question in.
Yeah. And I've got two computers going. Sorry, I got my face right in it. Let me turn the other one off and then see if we can hear. Can I give you that?
Yep.
I'm just going to end this one and see if we can.
What do we need to do? Remote learning day scheduled on the calendar. Okay, good.
You want me to?
If you can hear me, I'm going to answer that question. On the remote learning days, we will be uploading something online for our online kids. If your child is an in-class child, we will send something home that they can work on that next day. So they do not necessarily have to submit something online, mainly because they don't have a device at home. We haven't given in-class students devices. So for kids that are in class, we're going to send something home that Thursday before that Friday, and they can work on it that Friday while we're out of school.
We also might send something in the Google Classroom.
For remote kids.
Yes.
Yes. And it will probably be the same activity.
Yes, yeah, it'll be.
And we have tried to fix our end, so we might be able to hear you guys now if you have questions. I'm going to set this back here. Are there any more questions?
Can you hear me now?
Melissa, are you talking?
Yeah.
She just muted herself.
Are you on your desktop too? Logged in on your desktop too? Do you use your Chromebook every day for Google Meet?
I've never had this happen.
Any other questions?
She did. She just put a question up there.
What reading level are students supposed to be at the beginning of first grade? And that's a great question. At the beginning of first grade, I thought it was
So
they changed.
they
it.
have changed it.
I think it is.
C or D, both of those. The expectation was leaving kindergarten at a C and then coming into first grade at a C or a D.
And then at the end of first grade, the goal is for them to be at an I or a J. So they have quite a few levels to grow in first grade.
The biggest gap.
It is, yeah, and it's always been that way as far as M-Class is concerned. But one thing I can say from a teacher's perspective is the literacy footprints is awesome. I am loving that. That's what we use in our small groups during the day. And the kids seem to really like it too. So I feel like, and it is consistent with M class. So I feel like with us doing that, that's going to make a difference because this is our first year doing that in our small groups. So
What have we done on this and they haven't been through it all?
And at the same time, if your child comes to school and gets the literacy footprints in small group, but you're thinking, oh, I really want to add some more reading at home, we have sent home this sheet about how to log into literacy footprints at home, and you can do it on a tablet or a phone or a computer. And that's just a really good resource at home. Absolutely.
Are there any more questions? We're sorry about the audio. We use this computer every day for lessons and don't have a problem with it. But of course, we have a parent meeting and we have a problem with it.
Someone type something.
thank you. She's more receptive to reading now than she was in the fall. Well, you're welcome. I don't know if that's me or not, but thank you. It might be because I have a student teacher and she loves her. Thank you. I love her too. Anything else? And guys, we're here, for you if you have questions you think of. And this is being recorded, so you can go back and watch it if you need to.
We'll send out the video for the standards for the first 9 weeks. And if you have questions but you don't feel comfortable asking it on here, or you've tried and we can't hear you, please email any of us. Or you can dojo any questions and we'll be glad to help you however or answer any questions that you have. Anything else? Okay, well, we appreciate you guys coming on today, taking the time. I know you're busy and you've got a lot of other things you could be doing, but we appreciate you taking the time for this. And again, if there's any way that we can help you, just reach out to us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Bye.
See you later.